Hey guys, it's 258. Welcome back to Herd and Instincts Chapter 14. I think I missed a week. I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure out my life right now. I just realized I need to start figuring out how to pack lunch for work. Because, my God, I've only had 2 jobs and I never personally... I think there's been like 3 months where I've actually taken food to work. And I'm like, the rest of the time was just vending machine. So, there's that. So I'm pretty sure the place I want to work at, since they telling me to bring lunch, I'm pretty sure they don't have any food trucks like I'm used to from my past work. Both of them, like the one that got fired from a few months, that one had like a food truck outside or vending machines where I just started using the vending machines. The second one had a vending machine, but also had a food truck, and I worked there for a few months because I was on a contract. My God, dude. Adulting, man. It's kind of interesting. Anyways. Did a Portal stream on my gaming channel. That was fun. No one's there, sadly, so I was just talking to myself. It was like the saddest thing. Whatever. You gotta start somewhere again. Because, I don't really post too much anymore, so... I think this is the only channel that gets constant views, because, you guys are perverts. That's pretty sure. Pretty sure that's why. No other reason other than that. Anyways, Chapter 14. I think... after chapter 15, everything's gonna be new to me. So we're still like in that line where I recorded this, but I haven't I'm redoing it, as you can see. So anyways, let's hop right into it. Usually the act of climbing the stairs up to the bedroom was a quick thing for Tim. Since North has moved in, he's had 3 mares hungering, fawning over him. They do everything they can to make sure he knows that he is the most important person in their world at the moment, such as walks next to him up the stairs, keeping in constant contact with him, making sure his hand is either on her flank or touching her mane. He looks down at her and smiles. He has a feeling that no matter how many stallions are in the herd, Citrus isn't going to have Tim be second to anyone in her book. The door is already open as they enter their expansive bedroom. Silver is looking at the pictures on the bedside table. Then he flits over to a few hung pictures on the wall. What if yeah, but I feel like a few, say 2 to 3, 2 more. I say 1 more would be the max if I was for Tim. Also, I feel like North. Depends on who Tim likes the most, honestly. Because Citrus is like his first mare friend in this case. And I say that Cayanne had her eye on Silver for a while. And I say North. I feel like Citrus and North are more for Tim in my book. But multiple. I don't get how a herd works unless, you're the main dog, I guess. When there's extra. This is like the first story that was like there's extra people in the herd that are the same gender, that are not females. And I'm like, oh, that caught me off guard. Anyways, oh, Tim, you have such a wonderful herd. Silver chirps happily. His wings are still pretty much useless, being up and stiff the way they are, though he seems to be fighting with them from time to time. Tim's ears catch the flushing of the toilet and the sound of the bidet. It looks like Cayanne is freshening up. Though one thing gets Tim's attention when it comes to Silver Wing. The stallion most certainly is at half-mast, his penis hanging down and moving from side to side as he looks around the room. He looks over at Tim and smiles. I expected a nice dinner, maybe spend some time together after, he flashes. I didn't expect us to end up in bed so quickly. Citrus explains, by the time all the herd meets up for an introductory session with a new prospect, everything before the bedroom is pretty much a formality. Is this one of those lessons you told me about? Yeah, well, betcha. Citrus taps her flanks against his legs. She points to her chair. Sit down, the show's about to start. He quickly complies. Show? Silver here is auditioning to be in our herd full time. We like him personally. We all get along, but our herd is more than just friends who hang out and split rent. We are a polyamorous species, Tim, and with us as the alpha couple in this whole thing, we have to judge who gets to join. We're playing director. Silver is the aspiring actor. North and Cayanne are a couple of our trusted veterans we are graciously allowing to volunteer to see if he can find a role to play. Oh my God, that sounds like an alpha type of comment to make. But Tim doesn't understand it. Since Citrus is the alpha in this scenario, that makes sense that she's saying that. Tim smiles and nods, giving Citrus a kiss on the neck and a grope on the hip. He feels North Point rubs up against him on the other side. He looks down at the light blue unicorn. She sits down on Tim's side. Citrus is on the other side, both sitting quietly. The bathroom door opens, revealing Cayanne, her tail's waving back and forth, and she's got a lustful look in her eye. Though she's looking at Tim, she saunters over to the human, though. Through the corner of his eye, Tim can see that Silver's attention is 100% on her. As she gets close, she rears up and puts her forelegs around his neck, kissing him deeply. The kiss goes on, and Tim's nose flares a bit. Smelling her arousal, he finds his own pants getting rather tight as she plays with his tongue with her own. Finally, she pulls away and smacks her lips appreciatively, that hunger in her eyes glowing even brighter. She turns and looks at Silver, and Tim gets a good view of her mirror hood. She's just ready to be rutted into oblivion right fucking now. That's such a good motto. Cayanne sachets her hips as she I don't know what the fuck that means. Sachets her hips as she stalks her closer towards Silver. The Pix's nose is flaring as well. There is no way he couldn't smell Cayanne's arousal at this point. He's gone from half-mast to mostly engorged. Tim finds himself fascinated as Silver has more length than he does in that department. But the stallion's penis is rather narrow by his estimation, at least compared to other ponies. He'd naturally be the envy of all, but the most wondrously endowed humans. Okay. I'm about to say. Okay, it's still so weird reading this again. Anyways, I don't know why, but I feel like, do you guys know when she brought up the acting thing? Do you guys have seen that clip where the guy's holding like a guy's in a whole green screen suit, but he has a boner, and like it's just the funniest clip ever. Especially if like it's a model shoot and this guy just has a boner while he's holding up like the screens and things. It's just hilarious to me. Anyways, Cayanne hops on the bed, gesturing for Silver to join her. He leaps up, grinning ear to ear in undeniable sway in his own hips. His wings sticking out like his swollen member, though instead of letting him mount her, she brings him close for a kiss. His wings actually relax as the kiss goes on. Pretty soon he's using his wings to bring her closer, touching her all over her body with them. One wing seems to be getting Cayanne to shudder by running gently up and down her horn, getting it to spark softly. Silver's eyes are closed as she maneuvers him onto his back, still locking lips with him. Tim notices a chime of magic, and suddenly his body is much cooler. With a shock, he realizes that some ponies magically stripped him naked. He looks down, such as giving him a wicked grin. She pops up to whisper in his ear, "Relax and enjoy." He pats her head, affectionately riffling her fur. She brings her head down, running her tongue up and along the shaft of his penis. She'd apparently perfected the clothes removal spell she had been working on, though where they went to he has no idea, nor much care, as she finally fully brings his manhood into her mouth, sucking strongly and looking up at him with a smile. I think there was an episode where it says like, if something disappears, it needs to go somewhere, or if something gets moved, it needs to go somewhere. I'm pretty sure there was an episode like that. I don't remember. I think this is after like Twilight being in a castle. North Point moves over to the bed. Her own mirror hood is glistening wet as well. She points her pretty plot at him and winks. She looks back at him and smiles seductively. The smile of sex is permeating the room. She stands there at the edge, watching Cayanne administer to Silver with authority, running her tongue up and down his penis as the stallion's eyes are rolling back, enjoying what the light pink mare is doing to him. Cayanne, I want you. Cayanne looks back at Citrus, a questioning look on her face. Citrus pulls away from Tim for a moment, her horn lit softly, keeping the pleasure up on him. As she turns towards Citrus and nods, Cayanne smiles as she sucks strongly on the stallion, getting him to gasp. Tim looks down at Citrus, an eyebrow raised in confusion. "It's a ritual, Tim," she reassures. "Sorry about the Twitter notifications I'm getting." "Anything I need to do?" Tim is suddenly self-conscious, having failed to realize this is not just some spontaneous game. It's tradition, as she said it before. Also addition. "Tell you what, ask me later when I'm not sending you to heaven." Her horn brightens, and so does the aura around his cock, getting his eyes to cross for a moment. "No complaints there." "Yeah, shut up and receive the pleasure I'm giving you. You're talking like you're dominant." "Am I not the one in charge? I play with you." Okay, shut up, Twitter. I'm turning that off. Hold up. Why do I follow people who tweet so much? I don't know. "Am I not the only one in charge? I ply you with pleasure. I don't have to do this. I choose to. Without me, you'd be sitting here hard with no point to relieve your poor erection." I guess that makes sense. He groans as Citrus engulfs his cock again with her marvelous mouth, her tongue working up and down his length. The first tingles arise just south of his head as his balls begin to tighten, and he pats her mane, stroking it lovingly, letting her know how grateful he is for her care and love. He's watching her, saving how her soft lips flow over his dick, her tongue licking all the way around, the suction creating sensation and stripping noises both. "Okay," and Silver moans, getting Tim's attention. He's utterly fascinated as Cayanne stands and moves toward Tim as a good view. She turns her head and smiles at Tim. Isn't he just getting like free porno right now while getting a BJ? Like what? He's getting free porn, real life porn, and getting a BJ. That's what I'm thinking about right now. Cayanne faces her head a pair. Tim and Citrus blush. She announces, "I believe he is ready." She giggles, caressing the stallion gently, who yelps a bit and squirms under her ministrations. Stretches pulls away from Tim, giving him a look. She turns her head. "Go ahead." She moans to sit next to him. Though her horn stays dimly lit, continuing to play with his manhood like it's her favorite toy. She squeezes his manhood magically and looks at him. "Ah, yes," stammers Tim, doing his best to go along with it. Citrus stands up, her tail lashing back and forth. You two may begin, she says solemnly. She looks up at Tim. This is an important part of the head stallion in her herd. Listen carefully. She clears out. Do you, Tim, vouch for Silver's permission to share in your mares? I do. Tim can see Silver's cock is practically throbbing, and it's all the poor stallion can do to not throw down Cayanne and rut her brains into a puddle of jelly. Very well, says Citrus. The mares seem to know exactly what they are going to do. North Point mounts the bed, laying on her side with her rear hosed by Cayanne's head and vice versa. Silver moves over, putting his snout under Cayanne's tail. The stallion wickers a bit, and he's undeniably ready at this point. Cayanne welcomes him to our herd with your body. Silver shows what you can do for your future mares. Before Tim can wrap his head or ask a question in a smooth motion, the stallion rears up onto Cayanne's back, reaching forward with his teeth to grab very base of Cayanne's mane, right at the bottom of the neck. Tim finds his eyes locked on Cayanne's marehood as it winks furiously. Silver's cock comes up and he fumbles for a moment, seeming to poke her a few times on the lips. On her thigh, he almost enters her rear for a moment before he corrects himself. Silver shudders as his cockhead finally broaches her correctly. That gets a sympathetic moan from Tim, remembering her every time he had penetrated that pink mare. You having fun, love? Citrus whispers as she moves a hoof down to begin stroking his length. Tim's able to gasp an affirmative as he looks back over the action happening on the bed. He doesn't need to say a word. His hard cock and reflexive clenching of his fingers into her flank tell her everything she needs to know. Silver is slowly shuffling his hoofs forward as he slowly enters Cayanne further. Soon the stallion is tilted all the way in. His balls slap against his mate's underside as he engages in her ritual rutting. Cayanne, please accept my body. He shudders, fighting for breath with his pleasured reflex. Silver, I accept you, Cayanne answers, lifting her ass even further. Become my stallion. Interesting way. I love how this is just like a ritual type of thing. Like, oh, does Timonthy here take this stallion to share in his betrothed wives, basically? It's kind of interesting to me. And, and if he accepts, the ritual begins. I wonder if he said no, what would happen? He's like, gets kicked out, or they talk about it. I'm pretty sure, but like, I'll be interested to see that outcome one day if this keeps going, adding stallions as well. Tim is transfixed, two thoughts running through his head. Wow, watching others have sex is really interesting to watch, and they really aren't fucking around. Amazingly, once he's fully inside her, both of them turn to look at Citrus and Tim. He looks down at Citrus, who nods with a big smile on her face. Wait, has Tim never watched porn here? Even though he's watched himself fuck a girl on his own? Because that, like, him not watching others have sex, makes me, like, think he's never watched porn before. Apparently that's what they needed. Instantly, Silver is prompting into Cayanne with everything he's got. It doesn't even take a solid half minute before Silver is snorting and panting, his motions becoming jerky, almost pulling out before slamming home deep into that silky heat of Cayanne's pussy. His balls are swollen, and his cock is hard as granite. I'm ready, the stallion pants. Come inside me. Come inside my mare, says Citrus, also playing with herself. Tell him, Tim. Fill her, says Tim, plainly. So yeah, Citrus and Tim are like the alphas. I love that. I also love how Citrus said my mare. I didn't expect her to say that, but I love it. With a loud whinny, the stallion pumps into the mare, then he starts bucking wildly, his wings flaring on, and he shudders, fully hilted in Cayanne, whose head is thrown back in pleasure as the stallion empties his load into her. I'm coming, Cayanne, I'm coming. Her horn sparks brightly, multicolored sparks explode throughout the room as Cayanne stands there, hilted by the stallion. He grunts, moans, incredible, Cayanne, I love you. He rides, racked with pleasure, thrusting still as North Point moves closer, her muzzle inches away from their bodily union. Come inside her, fill her, the light blue mare says huskily. Such as challenges. Make her yours, good boy. Give yourself to my mare. Eventually, Silver stumbles back a bit, his cock flopping out of her, licking white fluid. Her pussy flexes in another wink, dripping the stallion's cum. Silver flops over his sides, breathing heavily. Cayanne moves over and nuzzles North Point a bit, getting her to move so she can inspect her oozing pussy. She's still lifted high into the air. He has shoulder, announces North. Yeah, they're like, yeah, this is funny, like, oh my god, what would you say, like, this is so funny to me, because I'm thinking, like, an execution, like, oh, North is, like, the one making sure they're dead, Cayanne is, like, the guillotine, Silver is the one getting killed, and Tim and Cayanne are, like, the ones that are gonna, like, begin the execution. I feel like that's what's happening with this weird tradition. It's kind of interesting. Okay, he has filled her, announces North, almost inarticulate with lust. She was also breathing pretty heavily. She waits for a moment before lifting her face to Cayanne's sopping slit. Then, to Tim's astonishment, she plants a kiss and sucks. Cayanne quivers involuntarily, still sensitive from her rooting. Then North announces, "Yes, we got a good one here." I'm assuming Cayanne just... North just... I don't know what North just did, but I'm laughing my butt off about it. The first joining is complete. We all come to the herd, Silverwing. So, Citrus says for Millie. "Congrats," says Tim, Citrus elbows him. "Thank you, it's an honor," wheezes the winded pleasure Pegasus. Citrus gestures for Tim to follow her to the bed. As he sits down, it seems rather formal. Citrus scoffs, "Of course, we are Canterlot unicorns. Any pony can just let another stallion rut them, but in a herd, there must be a ceremony. There must be rituals to have every pony understand how the herd is organized." She moves and pushes Tim to lie on his back. Now that the acceptance of a new stallion is done, only Cayanne has had the pleasure. I want some myself. She leans forward and kisses him deeply. The kiss goes on, and his hands running all over Citrus's body. Tim enjoys getting the yellow mare to shudder as his fingertips run along her spine and playing with her hips and her flank. He can feel some pony straddle him, and he looks down as light blue forehooves press gently onto his chest. Just at the bottom of his ribbon cage, he glances up. North Point is shuddering as her magic holds his cock steady for him to penetrate North. As she slowly lowers herself onto him, as their hips meet, she opens her eyes and looks down at him, starting to move up and down slowly. Such as voice purrs in his ear, "Fuck your silly love, but save your cum for me." This is the part where you assert that the newcomer can't share in all the mirrors yet. Oh, I love that. I love that one, because, like, fuck you. Like, fuck you. They're mine until, like, they warm up to you. I like that. Or until the alpha here warms up to... Tim warms up to it. Tim nods as North starts to really get into the bouncing. She's not a loud one, not like Citrus. She's a screamer, that one, but she makes some very cute squeaks and moans as she continues bouncing up and down, her horns starting to light as her pleasure reels. Cayanne moves away from the apparently exhausted Pegasus and lies down next to Tim, putting her head on his chest, her mane tickling his nose gently as she lies there, a satisfied smile on her face. Tim holds on one hand on Cayanne as he uses the other to hold onto North's hip. She bounces up and down on him. Her pussy feels fantastic, hot and tight. Electricity begins to build in his cock. He clenches his fingers. He kisses her deep, feeling finger and tongue only all too eager to return the favor. He moans a little into her mouth, his hips buckling upwards, his breath all too eager to return the favor. He moans a little into her mouth, his hips bucking upwards, his breath begins to go from measured cycles to the first signs of panning. She is wet, only getting wetter by this thrust. She squirms around him, her hips giving little twitches of their own to accent her bobbing motion. Tim finds his own eyes rolling back as North finally slams down, clutching her rear legs around his hips as she whinnies, "Tim, you feel so good." Her horn sparks and Tim is nearly driven over the edge by the mare convulsing around his cock. She guides his hand down to her cleft. He begins to play with her parts, eliciting pleased peals from her. He brings her down onto his chest with a warm embrace right next to Cayanne's head as she continues to ride him. Her eternal heat is immense, so pleasant. Finally, she pushes herself back to a sitting position, still fully hilted on him, squealing, smiling lewdly as she lifts up and pushes down again. North runs a hoof along his chest and down his belly, smiling softly as she occasionally squeezes him with her cup. Citrus stands up and nuzzles the light blue mare, who nuzzles Citrus back, rocking her hips gently, doing her best to tantalize Tim. Resisting without bringing him over the edge, he gasps a few times as she gets him closer and closer. Tim and Citrus kiss deeply, making muffled noises of passion. Then Citrus reaches up and bites the other mare's ear hard. North squeals a bit, her mare thrashing around him. "My turn, my stallion, off." Citrus moves to replace the crestfallen North in the same position, but Tim moves to the other side. Cayanne giving him a dirty look as he slides from under her head. She gasps, "Oh, what do you want to do now?" "I want to taste you," he says, kissing her hungrily. She squeals happily, then she puts a hoof on his chest, her face turning serious. "Dominate me now." "Yes, ma'am," Tim says as he grabs Citrus, bringing her back close for a kiss. He places her on her back, and she starts to run kisses down her barrel, provoking happy sounds from Citrus as he moves forward south on the yellow mare. Suddenly, he brings his nipple into his mouth, getting a loud gasp from her. The mare is sopping wet, her semen is plain from both sets of lips. Tim settles onto the bed as he finally dives into Citrus's hot wetness, his tongue darting along her lips before she winks hard, allowing him to clamp his lips onto her clit. Citrus squeals loudly as he escalates her enjoyment. A set of lips running along the small of his back, getting his body to shudder. It kind of tickles. A second sit starts in the middle of his back. He enjoys the feeling as he runs his tongue along her lips, enjoying her taste and the sounds that she makes as he continues on her. He jerks as teeth are applied to his right butt cheek. Then again, as his left receives a bite, not enough to really hurt, but enough to get his attention. He knows that Silver and Cayanne are watching him. Come on, Tim, fucker. North huffs in his ear. You know what to... You know you want to. Tim pulls away from Citrus and licks her nose, getting to scrunch cutely as he dives back in. He knows what he wants before he enters. Oh dear Celestia, Citrus calls as her fluids leak down his chin and neck. Her rear legs clamp down on his head as her horn lights up the room brightly, multicolored motes flying all over her as he continues to play with her clit with his tongue. Finally, she flops to the bed, panting. Tim pulls up and moves to where he's straddling on her back. He looks into her eyes. You want some more? She nods with a big smile as he looks down. He uses his hand to guide himself as he uses a tip to tease her lips, running along her slit and getting more mewling moans from Citrus. Just fuck me now, she demands. Though he continues teasing her, finally he slowly presses his cock head on her entrance, just slowly giving himself to her. The heat radiating off her vulva is terrific. She reaches her rear legs around his hips and brings her lower half up, engulfing him fully. Now fuck me, and don't you dare stop until you've shown Silver how the top stallion around her takes him there. Set an example for your herd. All I'm saying is the dare there is a typo. It says date, and I'm like, what? He smiles. Your wish is my command, love. He pulls out until only the tips remains inside. Then he slams all the way in, getting a whinny and a groan from Citrus. He does it again and again. Each time faster, letting the feeling of being inside her, of fucking her hard, just take over. Finally, he's got her on the bed and is fucking her hard and fast. The slapping of his balls on her ass gets her moaning and even louder. It's been worth the wait. He kisses her, lending his lips. He engages with his tongue, mimicking his actions lower down as below. She's only too happy to take him above. He hears the pleasure moans of North touching herself, entrance at the erotic display before her, love and passion and dominance and submission, male and female, lust and grace all in one place. All poet may call it captivating. Tim can only call it hot. I'm curious if there's fucking poems, sex poems out there now. Tim fucks his love hard, hearing her squeal, wanting to make her sing, her lips open to sing him love songs, just lust songs and primal ballads. Wordless wails of instincts giving life upon the wind from her lungs. She wraps her legs around him and arches her back, inviting him deeper. Tim grunts in gratification, feeling her truly all the way inside, joined as intimately as possible at the hip. His balls are tightening. North sounds like she's about to lose control of her body. Everyone's musk is getting to him. Tim lays down and holds Citrus close. He pumps into her. She shudders, calling his name. Tim, yes. Oh my, you're making me She doesn't need to say it. She rocks like a budding kettle, and he feels the immediate surge in heat and wetness. His balls tighten, her open mouth, moist lips beckon him. He kisses him, observing her cries into himself, pointing back at her on pure animal instinct. His mate's arousal is beckoning his own. Lust overpowers everything else. His surges forward and fucking her even harder, sprinting his cock, feel like it's going to explode. Deep inside that amazing pussy, his body needs the release. So wet, so hot, so tight, so soft. Heaven's gates are opening. He hugs her one last time, trying desperately to say something. They lock eyes. She understands, crying out, throwing herself around him, kissing him desperately. His cock feels like it's going to explode. Such is writhed and feels the pleasure crash to a crescendo of carnality. Body aflame, he holds her in her, holding himself to her tightly as his balls empty themselves into her. His entire body shudders as he rides out his orgasm with her motherhood is milking him as strongly as possible as she gasps, her eyes rolling as her horn continues to shoot motes of lights everywhere. He's coming inside her. His mate is his love, and his neurons are overwhelmed with pleasurable signals. Cum spews from his cock, floating her insides. This is pure bliss. Finally, he collapses on top of her, trying to catch his breath. He rolls to the side, bringing the little mirror to his chest. As both of them panic, she looks up at him. Wow, Celestia, Tim. Tim wants to laugh, but he can't get the breath to. He simply squeezes her harder to his chest, peppering her with more kisses. Northpoint crawls up behind him and puts her head over his shoulder. That looked intense, she says softly as nod. She looks at the tip of his ear. Can you do that with me next? Tim nods as he reaches up a hand to touch her head. She snuggles closer to him. He glances back. Cayanne had moved over and was snuggling with Silver. The stallion's eyes are wide. He snorts. Sure, maybe next century when my balls aren't so empty. Damn. You can't fuck. Yeah, you can't fuck like that. I'm pretty sure. Haha. Animals. Ha. Animals are more limited, I guess. Cayanne nuzzles Silver's neck. There are a lot of reasons we love the big guy here. Being great in bed is one of those. She giggles, looking back at Tim for a moment. She blows him a kiss and lays her head back down, stallion. I love the sound of your heartbeat, she says softly, getting a blush from the silver-colored stallion. All of them lay there for some time in a big post-coital cuddle pile while everyone tries to just catch their breath. Tim smacks his lip. A glass of water would be a good thing at the moment. He shifts to get up. Tim, don't leave me, Northpoint says drowsily, pulling him back down with her hooves. Tim holds the light blue mare closer. Who is he to deny her? Silver pokes his head up over the side of the curled up Cayanne, not sleeping, just drowsily enjoying that the radiant afterglow. He looks over at Tim. Why did you want to get up? You thirsty? Tim croaks, yeah. Oh, me too. I can fix that, Silver says. He spreads his wings, but then stops cheaply. I don't think flying is a good idea right now. He folds them at his sides and picks his way among the ponies to end up hopping on the floor. He stumbles a bit, his hooves not wanting to really work correctly. He looks down, his eyes narrowed. What? Tim asks the stallion, takes another tentative wobbly step. So he goes, well, I'm guessing a lot has taken out of me. Cayanne is amazing with both sets of lips. Damn. Oh, damn. Damn. And there's a missing quotation mark there. Haha, typos. I'll hate them so much. Cayanne chortles from the bed. Don't you know it, Tim? This earns her a blush and a nod from the hapless human. Silverwing takes a few more steps, getting more stable under his hooves. Finally smiles and walks through the door. As far as anyone can hear, he's surprisingly good at navigating the stairs, despite just having had his brains fucked out beyond the orbit of Luna's moon and being torn into an incoherent mass of pleasure jelly. Damn, that's an interesting way to put it. Tim reaches over and brings Satches closer to him, and pretty quickly he's got Northpoint on one side with her foreheads wrapped securely around his bicep, and Satches on his other side, her head on his chest. Her eyes half lit and a soft smile on her face. They lie there as noises from the kitchen make their way to the room. Surely this is a peak of mortal happiness. Tim snorts, opening his eyes. He must have nodded off for a few minutes. He glances over to see Silver returning with a serving platter across his back, bearing silver large cups, all filled to the brim. He is using his wings, which seem nearly as dexterous as hands, to give him drinks to every pony. Silver's smile widens when he gives Tim his cup. I did the dishes really quickly, so we don't have too much of a mess to take care of when we get up in the morning. Tim glances over the clock. It's all coming up to 10 at night. Still somewhat early, but he knows that all the girls have work tomorrow. He drinks deeply from his cup, enjoying the water as he watches some of the girls take delicate sips. After a few moments, Northpoint squeezes Tim's arm tighter. So who's up for round 2? Damn. Silver smiles brightly as he hops onto the bed. North giggles a bit as she moves over and kisses him. Cayanne crawls over and nips Tim's ears. I haven't felt you inside me yet. Tonight, it's not fair. You haven't paid me back yet for bringing you this naughty night. She's pouting at him. Tim looks at Cayanne. She's suddenly lustful at the moment. He brings her close and kisses her. She melts into the kiss, wrapping her forelegs around his neck as her tongue invades her mouth. To engage with his counterpart, he's quite used to the tongue sparring that is a kiss with Cayanne Pepper. He reaches his arm around and holds Satches tighter. The yellow mare seems to be content to watch at this point, but she pushes him towards Cayanne with a bright smile. It's just the two lovers with every pony else spectating. Cayanne seems to be intent on getting impaled immediately. She pushes him down and advances on him. She's still wet. She breaks the kiss quickly and her horn lights, getting it into her as she gasps happily as he finally enters her fully wet, soaking actually but tired from the break and stimulation. He puts out his hand and puts her forehead in his palm, letting him steady her as she starts to move up and down, a look of pure excitement on her face as she starts to bounce up and down. Tim lays back and smiles as she continues to ride him. He caresses her, dreamily smiling at her, gently saying at her, I love you, Cayanne. You feel great, so beautiful, soft, wet, deep. He strokes her face, riding her slightly open lips on his thumb. She kisses his fingers with a subdued giggle and a noticeable blush. The girls were amused at the name of the position, the cowgirl. They had all laughed when they found out what cowboys and cowgirls were, riding horses to tame cattle in this case. Tim is their mount, and they all love it. Tim glances over at Northpoint. The light blue mare has Silver pinned to the bed, doing her best to force his tongue into submission. They continue to kiss at Silver's cock, seems ready to go. North's horn lights, and Nora takes hold on Silver's cock. As they continue tongue wrestling, she plants herself on him, facing away from the stallion, but face to face with the other mare. They kiss. Tim finds himself staring up at North's body. He sees her teeth and plays with him, enjoying the supple softness. The stallion moves louder as he penetrates Northpoint. She pulls herself vertical, having Silver's forehooves help steady her as she starts to bounce on him. Cayanne looks at them approvingly as both girls synchronize their bouncing, watching each other. I feel like that's just like a bro moment. Like, oh, they're like doing the same thing, so you can both feel the same. That's just such like a bro thing. Same thing for the girls, like they're synchronized, but like the bros feel the same thing at the same time. It's kind of interesting. I love it. Weird, but I love it. Then Setcha surprises Tim by leaning over, still keeping her rhythmic bouncing going and meeting Cayanne's nethers with an intense kiss. Tim can feel Cayanne's mirrorhood flexing as they keep going. While the new hot lips and tongue work on the both of them, he shivers in pleasure. It's rather short-lived though, as Silver starts booking Natalie, whinnying loudly as he purrs another load into her North Point. Holding onto her hips for dear life, lest he be swept away in climax, the blue mare's horn lights as his orgasm ignites one in her. She arches her back, crying out before finally collapsing backwards onto Silver's chest. Both of them definitely done for it and done well. Cayanne giggles as she turns her attention to Tim. She brings herself down and reaches forward to kiss him, letting him wrap his arms around her as he takes over in thrusting. He thrusts up into her. It's a bit awkward for him, but the sensations from rocking her tight body just so more than make up for it. Now she's properly aroused, and he can feel it with the way her body welcomes his ministrations, now so much looser and yielding, the slick walls of her pussy causing scintillating tingles of pleasure wherever they brush. And Tim answers his instincts by holding in Cayanne and rocking, feeling her all the way from the inside. She murmurs and squirms, encouraging him to not let up. He gets her hand free and runs a finger along her softly glowing horn. Tim, she shudders, letting him know just from her tone how wild he is driving her. Her eyes squinting closed as he continues playing with her horn, running his finger through the magic, playing across the surface. He caresses it, like how she would his cock go all over and down, front and back. Plenty of pleasure at the top, but going lighter yet faster around the base and focusing on the spots that make her squeal the most. Her body gave him the cues, and he knew just how to read them. One of the three girls, Cayanne likes her horn played with the most. She leans down to kiss him, their tongues duel. He takes advantage to use both hands on her horn. The immediate increase in wetness amplifies the already considerable pleasure. He is feeling hot, silky, amazing. She is quaking now for him. Please, Cayanne moans. Fuck me hard. He glances at North Point, who watches with rapt fascination. She smiles at him as he picks up Cayanne and deposits her on her back. He knows what she meant, and he positions himself at her winking entrance. He doesn't tease her, he simply plunges in. Her body accepts him instantly, her rear legs wrapping around his hips. With just a few thrusts, she is moaning, her horn lighting brightly and sparkling motes of light all over. Her pussy's pleasurably searing hot and soaking wet. Tim continues his assault on her horn. He's not even at it for a full minute before her tremors become full spasms. A single high note escapes her lips as orgasm overtakes her entire body clenching as she mews softly. The sensation feels his balls tightening. The pleasure is almost unbearable as her orgasm fades. She reaches all four legs to hold on to Tim tightly, bringing him close to her. Enough, that's enough, she pants. Tim pulls out and kisses her deeply. She runs her hoofs gently across his face as he kisses. Suddenly she pulls back, a smile on her face. Thank you, love. Wow, you are still ready to go, Silver says, and a loose smile on his face. North Point stands up, wobbling on her hooves, and she turns to point her plot at him. Her tail flags and her mirrored wings. She looks back at him with an inviting smile. Tim moves up and puts his hands on her withers. His throbbing erection is begging for release. He shudders as he enters North Point. He starts slowly, but he quickly gets into the rhythm. She gasps every time he slams slowly into her, his balls slapping on her clit. She's squirming quickly as an orgasm overtakes her. As her mirrorhood convulses, he pushes her harder. She turns her head back. Kiss me, love, she says. He leans forward and kissing North as he keeps the pounding. Tim, Silver says, pull on her mane right there, pointing at the base of her mane. Tim reaches out a hand and grabs the hair, pulling gently. Silver giggles. No, Tim, do it with some authority. Tim's pulls a little harder, getting a squeak and a loud one from North Point. Silver gets shakily to his hooves and smirks at Tim. Tim, trust me on this. You yank it like you own it, Sasha shouts to illustrate. Silver reaches and takes North's mane in his teeth and yanks hard. All I'm saying, if it's like the first time he's being dominant, then it's understandable that he's gonna be like, I don't really want to hurt her. Also, Citrus calling the main like you own it, because he does own them, I guess. Is the term when it comes to the bedroom talk. I don't know. Silver is just sharing. We're just sharing with Silver right now, but nope. With a loud scream, North's horn flashes like a flare, and her mirror clamps down on him. Her already appreciable wetness turns into a monsoon. Her body is inviting him unlike anything else. He puts both hands on her hips and uses the leverage to slam into the mirror as hard as he can, giving up on anything else unbelievable. Tim gasps in delight shock. He watches as Citrus moves closer. She runs her tongue along North's horn, getting an unsteady gasp from her, and her body reacts even more strongly. Tim is pounding her relentlessly. He's not running her. He's fucking her like a beast. His balls are tight. His cock is rock hard. His heart is hammering fit to burst. pleasure is sparking up and down his dick. He's panting like a wolf. He shuts his eyes, just basking in the pleasure. He squeezes North's plot as hard as he can, ramming her wildly. He couldn't stop himself if he tried. He was close, so close. Pleasure building. Pressure in his cock. Fuck. Tim gasps as her motherhood starts to milk him in earnest. He feels paralyzed as his body jerks. White, hot ecstasy consumed him as he hilts in her. His cock twitching, spilling and spewing, filling up the mirror with his own seed. His balls empty once more, releasing everything he had left. Lips find his own, and he kisses back blindly, all rational thought far gone in the heat of his instincts. His pleasure, North milks him for everything he has, making him quake in a carnal bliss. Nothing matters except giving her cunt everything he has. His breathing is ragged as everything becomes the pleasure radiating from his union with Northport. White and black flash across his vision. He's finding his hips moving without thought as he heaves into her, desperate to feel her as deeply as possible. Claiming her with his seed, he hunched over, alternating stroking her fur and yanking her mane, relishing in her moans of pure abandon. Finally, it's over. He breathes deeply and doesn't so much pull out as he flops to the side, flipping out coincidentally. His cock slick, shrunken and spent. He watches as she gradually brings herself to recline, legs still twitching out of control. That was amazing. I love you. She can't say anything else. Only a passionate kiss from her expresses her gale of emotion. Sanchez moves up to be the little spoon to his big spoon as he wraps his arms around her. Her warm body is so welcome. He isn't heavenly as is she. Pure happiness abounds all around the spent ponies and human. Wait, Sanchez moved in? Wait, what happened? I don't know what just happened that past 3 paragraphs. She squirms a bit to be closer with him, and another body crawls up behind him. Cayanne sighs softly. She puts her hooves over his arm. North struggles to finally lie on her side, being held by Sanchez and Silver across the spoon. Cayanne behind him. Some point in his horn lights the room softly, and the covers float off the floor and settle on all of them. Sanchez murmurs softly as she closes her eyes. That was perfect. Tim tightens his arm around the yellow mirror. Yeah, consciousness escapes him, and he falls asleep in the loving embrace of his herd. The end. My god, dude. It's been a while since I've read fully, and I still feel like there's like that little thing of me that's saying that I'm sick of it. Like, I think there's like boogers. Also, I need to shave. My fucking mustache and beard are weird when I'm talking too much. Anyways. Author's note. The chapter took a lot of caffeine-filled work by Kalish and was truly a collaborative effort. Thank you to your readers and to those that have helped me make this story what it is. A word from Kalish93. Thanks for reading. I hope you enjoyed. The chapter was the result of insomnia and 3 chugged cans of Monster Energy. Honestly, I'm surprised I managed to pull this off. But here it is. We're fighting 2 chapters in as many days as been grueling, but the positive reactions from you makes it worthwhile. This chapter is in particular got a ton of effort as clap is my specialty, and this is the last Fap extravaganza we're gonna have for a while. I love that. Fap extravaganza. For people who are actually like listening to the story all the way to the end, thank you, I guess, because I know for a fact I've been lazy with the title, because normally when it's a clop fic like this chapter is, I would say clop, but it isn't. It's just a normal story, and whoever finds the clops, have your way with them, I guess, because I literally don't. I would just remember the ceremony part where I commented, and everything else it was a blur. I don't even know what just happened. I know they're just all cuddling right now. Anyways, guys, that's been it, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one if I come back one day. And guys, thank you guys for watching, listening to what you guys do, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.